Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. How is everybody doing today? We're gonna be doing something just a little bit different today in the live stream, so I'm excited to see so many people came in the middle of the day for, I guess I'll say a little bit of retro gaming. With FS22 coming out here soon, I've been thinking a lot about other farming games I've played over the years, and I can't wait to jump back into this. This is a game I have spent hours and hours and hours, hundreds, thousands of hours probably even playing this game when I was younger. And so this was one of the first PC simulation games that I got into. So I'm excited to jump in and show this off today. It took a lot of work to get this set up. Running DOSBox through OBS, not exactly easy to do. So we'll jump in here in one moment. We got a full chat room today, though, so welcome to the stream to the early people joining here. Bandit Boys, John Deere Farms, Josh Sanders, it's good to see you guys in the chat. Godly Devil, good to see you as always. Chad the Artist, catching your first Kedrick live stream. Well, apologies, this is going to be a little bit different than my normal content. Hopefully you still enjoy it. The Atlas Chambers from Julian F. Modding does look awesome, though. Marjan, good to see you in the chat. Deacon, Ronator, good to see you guys. All right, let's see if we can figure out how to get this working here. So you guys will have to bear with me a little bit today because it's not all my standard buttons, and we've got to actually jump in here. SIMFarm, we're playing the DOS version of the game from 1993. So hopefully this is going to work. Tyler Ross, good to see you, bud. All right, let's see. I might have to adjust the volume a little bit here. So, oh, we've got the classic sound here. If the background noise of the game is too loud for you guys, let me know. This is a little bit harder to test than some of the other games that we've done. So this game is this game's old. This game's from 1993. So this is what I was playing when I was younger, having a blast. Actually, I would have been a teenager about the time that this came out. Luke Racing, welcome to the chat. Ryan, good to see ya. I think what we're gonna do today is we're gonna start with one of the pre-existing farms, which is these yellow squares here. This is gonna give us some land and some equipment, and go with that. Eric, yes, this is MS-DOS running on DOSBox, so that is how old this game is. So we're gonna jump into this real quick here. Hopefully this is gonna work out. I tested offline just a little bit. We're gonna pause the game while we figure some things out. And so for those that don't know, this is the classic SimFarm game by Maxis, the people who did like the SimCity games, The Sims, but this was one of their earlier games, and I absolutely love this game. And it's funny is this game has some more detailed mechanics than even Farm Sim in some ways. And so we've got weeds and the need to spray herbicide. We've got soil toxicity. We've got groundwater levels, so how wet or dry is my soil. I've got to worry about fertilizer and nutrients in the soil. I've got crop disease, so I'm gonna have to worry about fungicide, and we've got pesticide and pests and stuff. So it's gonna be a really cool game. We're gonna play it today. This is kind of a one-off. I don't know that I'm gonna end up doing a series on this, but I thought it'd be fun as kind of a throwback Thursday kind of a deal to just jump in and do something here. Unfortunately, the controls are not pleasant, so let's take a look at our farm here. Currently we're in Iowa, it looks like, and we've got some corn and wheat here that come pre-planted on our farm. So we're going to kind of be playing around with this. Looks like we got a bunch of trucks left out on the road here. We've got some sheds, and if I right click on all these sheds, we've got tractors with, I believe these are plows, and then we've got planters, seeders here, and we've got sprayers, we've got harvesters. The trailers actually go behind the harvesters, which is kind of interesting. And then you've got trucks. So we'll check in our silos here real quick. I don't think we've got any grain. And so this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. This is a kind of a crazy game. The John Deere American Farmer ones. I played that way back in the day before I got into Farm Sim as well. I should definitely check that out at some point. So we've got a little town up here with a few buildings. You don't really get to interact directly with the town much in this game. But we're in spring here, and so we're gonna take a look at our fields here before we start letting time advance. It looks like we've got all the equipment we need to farm here. And so if we use this to click on the field, this window here is how you control pretty much everything that you're gonna do on your farm. You just gotta be really careful because there's no way to undo actions. So we're gonna take a look here. It looks like our corn comes pre-planted. We're already a little bit into the growth stage here. We're in the first week of May. This represents today. And so the wonderful thing with Farm Sim here, or SIMFarm I should say, is that I think we can double crop corn. If we turn the temperature on here, it's gonna stay pretty warm here. And we're gonna be able to get 2 crops of corn every year, I think. We could probably rotate and do something else, but we're gonna see how this goes. So we're gonna worry about adjusting some of these schedules and stuff a little bit later here. I wanna get going on what we need to do first. And so if we look at all of these fields and their current statuses, you can see our soil quality is pretty low, but we're good from a disease, pest, and weed perspective. So with low soil quality, we need to get some fertilizing done. And so we can spray fertilizer, and we're gonna get this little spray can icon here. We're gonna bump the speed up first back to, we'll say slow. I'm gonna turn off auto leasing in this game because that'll go and get equipment when we've already got it. And then we're gonna tell it to spray fertilizer in all of these fields. And it's gonna have all of our tractors come out and do that. We're kind of going really fast here, so we're on slow mode, but thanks to how DOSBox works, sometimes it's a little hard to control things. And then the other thing we can see here is that we've got all this water in these fields, so we need to figure out how to turn off the water. And so I think if I need to install one of these handy dandy valve things right here. And then if I use this, yep, there we go. I turned it off. So this is gonna stop pumping water into our fields. And then we probably also need another one of these down here. There we go. And we're gonna turn that one off. So now these pumps are irrigating. So we have this irrigation ditch here. We've got pumps, we've got valves, and now our water levels are appropriate here for the field. And so things should start, our crop quality's bad because we need to let things grow, but all the needles are in the green now. So we would expect that all of our stuff is gonna start growing pretty well here. So I'm missing chat while I try to explain the basics because this game is a little bit much to take in to start with, but I think we can kind of up the speed here. We're already in week 2. Things are gonna keep kind of growing along. And if you just bring up this menu, you can kind of follow along here. You can see that I fertilized here in the previous day. You can see what the expected ground temperature points are, or I guess air temperature points. I can switch over here and show expected water levels on any given day, so I know if it's gonna be dry coming up, I can turn on my irrigation and such. So there's a lot of complexity here. Perma's modding in the chat. It's good to see you as always, sir. Yeah, Alexander, there are crop dusters once the town gets an airport. So our town doesn't yet have an airport, but at some point as things continue, we should get some additional options in the game here. And so we can see, our crops are kind of continuing to go here. If I put this on fast, things might continue a little bit faster. We're on week 4 now. You can see our pesticide, or our pest needle, is starting to come up here. And so we're gonna let it go forward one more week here. It looks like we've already got some needs here. This is weeds, and so our weeds are in the yellow, and so we don't want to let that go for too long. So I'm gonna slow down the game here, and we're gonna get our little sprayer symbol out here. And so the pesticides, we can see we've got this little icon. We're gonna tell the tractors to come out here and spray some pesticides. And then over here, we need some herbicide. And so the interface on this is much more of a management style game, which is really cool. Kind of how I like to play Farming Simulator in a lot of ways. Marjan, I can absolutely make more fields. That costs a bit of money, and so I want to get through one set of 1 year, I guess I'll say, before we start doing that, just to make sure that I understand all the game mechanics. And so we're gonna put a shut off here, because it looks like we're, oops, is it right click? Am I paused? I'm paused, here we go. We're gonna put some shut-offs here. It looks like I'm getting too much water. And then we'll expand the farm here in a few minutes after we get through the first season. I wanna make sure that we understand the game mechanics well enough. We're gonna spray some pesticide on these 2 fields now. And then we're gonna spray some herbicide on this field. And I think we've got, what is that? Is that the fungicide icon here? So we got some fungus down in this field that we gotta spray for. And so you could definitely pre-spray some stuff, but in this game, unlike Farm Sim, one of the things that we have to worry about, and it doesn't show on this map very well, but if we bring up the world map here, you can see that because we've sprayed these fields, we're starting to raise our soil toxicity levels. And so continued chemical use over years is going to start to have a bad effect on the soil. And so you're gonna wanna either rotate crops to something that doesn't raise the toxicity as much, because you don't need to do as much spraying because they're more resistant to the different kinds of disease or what have you, or let a field lay fallow for a year and plant a new field. So if we come up here with the windows, there's a farm expert in the game, which is cool. And so if we click into farm expert here, we can look at all the stats for our different crops. And so you can see here, we've had to spray pesticide on our corn because corn has a low pest resistance versus a higher weed and disease resistance, from the game mechanics. And so it's, pretty cool to see that you've got these different mechanics here. The wheat that we've got in the field next to us has a higher pest resistance, but a low weed resistance, but a high disease resistance. And so, our crops have different properties here. And so you can change up the crops that you have in your fields to, hopefully, affect how much, soil toxicity and stuff that you're getting. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So we're gonna bump the speed back up a little bit here. If we look here, these crops should be ready to harvest around July, the way this game is set up. And then these are gonna be ready to harvest, these got a much longer growing cycle, in January, which seems really long. And so I don't know about that. That's a long time to wait here to harvest wheat, it feels like. Now this wheat is got too much water, but our irrigation is all closed off. And so unfortunately, there's not a lot we're gonna be able to do about our water levels. It looks like we're gonna have some drier weather here in a few days. So we just have to hope that that extra water doesn't ruin anything. Now, SIMFarm also has these random gambling encounters. So the town rodeo started and Cousin Jed wants to know if I'm gonna bet on him to win. So bet 500 to win 1,000. This seems like a horrible idea, but we've got plenty of money, so we're gonna go ahead and bet on Cousin Jed. If I remember from the game, I very rarely, if ever, won any of these. We've got some pests in this particular field, so we're gonna spray some pesticide here. And we're gonna go through this first harvest cycle because I want to see how harvest is gonna work out, and then we'll get into building some more fields and stuff on the farm. So I need to remember, so I'm on fast speed still, so we're cranking along here, and this corn should be ready here at the end of July, it looks like. So our cousin Jed lost. We lost our 500 bucks. It's to be expected. And so you can start to see the crop quality is already at fair. And so I'm gonna go ahead and slow this down because we've got some fungicide here that we want to deal with, and this is probably costing us quite a bit of money, but I want to see that we can get this taken care of before harvest if possible. Hopefully raise the quality of our crops just a little bit. So our corn's looking good. It's all gonna come up for harvest here any second now. We're 1 day away from hitting the harvest point. And the harvest lengths are all kind of statically defined. I think corn is set up as, I want to say 13 or 12 weeks. Let me see here. I've got a window open. I looked it up. 13 weeks, where wheat is set up as a 35-week crop. And so, very interesting growth cycles in SIMFarm. Brendan, where do I live? I live in the Metro Detroit area in Michigan. So here we go. So we got the harvesters out here in the field. We're on the slowest speed. Unfortunately, SIMFarm, the graphics are just gonna be a little bit old school here, but you can see all our harvesters went out there and harvested that crop. And then the way that it works here is a field's harvest takes up 1 square in a bin. So for every field that we harvested, we got 1 square worth of crops here. And so now if we look at the market value screen, you can see for corn, our market value since we started the game here has kind of gone up and down. And so I've got to keep an eye on this, and I can sell that corn on the day. But the cool thing with Farm Sim is, or SIMFarm, I'm going to keep doing that, is I can actually come into this screen in the middle of the year, and based on what the market value was, I have this button here where I can click and sell on the current day as a future. So you've got the ability to do futures on your corn, which I thought was really cool. So if on this first day where the price was higher, if I had sold corn on that day, I could sell it as a future. You can see the futures owned down here. And we could have then automatically sold that corn at harvest time for that price that we locked in previously. So that is kind of a cool feature, I thought. And so we're gonna try this double crop of corn. You can see we've got the tractors out here planting and plowing and planting, I should say. And so it came in here first week of August, and we've got another round of corn. And with corn, the goal is to get to 2,000 heat units over the course of its growth cycle, which we most likely won't do. I think it was 2,000. Something like that. And so that's going to determine the crop quality. So, you know, it's interesting to me that we're going to double crop corn in Iowa. Doesn't really seem to fit, but again, this game's just a little bit different than some of the other games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this cut tool here now, and we're going to do a cut after that harvest in November, because we don't want to keep planting corn in November. I don't think it's going to do very good. And so we're gonna come up here and we're gonna wait until the temperatures, you know, getting up here into the 40-50 degree range, and we're gonna plant, let's see if we can actually find, is that soybeans? That looks like peanuts. Do we have any soybeans in this game? Hang on, we're gonna go look at Windows, Farm Expert. Farm Expert will tell us. We got wheat, we got barley, potatoes, oats, soybeans. Here we go, the green bushy plant. So we're gonna come in here, and in this field where we've cut, we're gonna find our soybean texture. Is it a different icon? What is this? That doesn't look like what we just saw in the other menu. This is the problem with some of the older games. So corn, wheat, barley, potatoes, that's oats, rice, sorghum, soybeans. Soybeans should be right next to cotton. So if that's cotton, that's soybeans. There we go. So we're gonna take this soybean tool, and then soybeans are an 18-week crop. And so I think if we plant our soybeans here in the April time frame, based on how this game works, that's gonna get us into harvesting in January, which seems a little bit late. So let's see if we can adjust this. Why did it? Okay, there we go. So we're gonna cut this back out. We're gonna grab our soybeans again, and we're gonna bring this a little bit earlier. We're gonna go in the beginning of March from a SIMFarm perspective here, and that'll get us done in December. So I don't know if there's a concept of snow or other things here. Oh, and this is because we're trying to do a double crop. There we go. We don't want to do a double crop. There. Now we'll harvest in July. So now that we're figuring this out, I think we do want to move it back a bit. It automatically repeats all of the planting here. So we would want to get a better crop. We need to wait until it's warmer. Woo! Soybeans like 70-degree days, it looks like. So let's go all the way out here into May, and then that should give us maximum warm days. Boom, just like that. This is a little bit more intense than Farming Simulator in that I've just been so long since I've played a game like this. So using DOS commands and this single button click for everything where we have to hold it down is a bit crazy. So pesticide, there is no clicking on the menu. I have to hold the mouse button down for doing everything here. Brendan, you're in Kalamazoo. Nice. I've been out that way a number of times. We're gonna get some pesticide and stuff on all of our fields here. Hopefully this double cropping corn thing works out for us. Currently we're at bad, but we just planted it. Looks like the soil's doing all right. And our wheat is kind of struggling with all this water. We've had way too much water in this wheat the whole time, so I don't know that wheat is gonna be the best crop for us here on this farm. Randy Pepler, happy Canada Day to all my Canadian viewers. And Tim Maslin, this is Throwback. Can we do Minesweeper? There you go. I think this might predate Minesweeper. Wasn't Minesweeper on Windows 3.1? This was still the DOS days. Although I don't remember, when did Windows 3.1 release? It was forever ago. So we're one harvest in. We're not doing a great job of watching our market window here. We've got all of this corn, and the corn prices are starting to come back up, so we're gonna hang on to this corn for just a little bit. And then we need to figure out how to buy land still. So let's come in here, and I think this is the land buy window. And so we're currently own all of this land. I think the fences move automatically. So I think if I buy this piece of land, wow, land property, $18,000 to buy one more square of land. Okay, let's do it. There we go. Oh, and of course it's not big enough for a field, so I would need to buy another one. Well, there goes all of our money, and we'll have to wait just a little bit. 92, there you go. Hey, it's Home Phone, welcome to the chat. All right, so we've got one harvest under our belt. we've got the second harvest is getting closer to ready here. If we take a look at this, we're going to be harvesting, actually it's nowhere near ready. We're going to be harvesting this in January, which is just going to be a disaster. So what we need to do actually is go back to slow mode. I need to turn off replanting all of these fields before we forget. We don't want to plant wheat here again. We'll figure out what we're going to plant after, but for right now, we want to make sure we're not planting more wheat in January. That just isn't going to work out for us too well. Our wheat is at least getting to the point where it's poor quality, so that's encouraging. It means we're going to get a harvest. Hello from Pennsylvania. It's good to see you. Yeah, this is a game I've been meaning to go back and just play this for a day for a long time, and so I thought it would be fun to do this on a live stream. I know it's not my standard content, but it is farming related. And what I like about this game is, you know, aside from being ancient, it's got some really serious mechanics here. So the other mechanics I can do, I've got loans that I can take out, you know, and the interest rate is right here. You make quarterly payments as opposed to daily in Farm Sim, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, Randy Pepler, it's funny, the FPS is actually horrible in DOSBox, so I think we're getting like 5 frames a second here, just due to the nature of how the game works. So my credit limit here, I guess I could take out a loan to buy another plot of land to start farming, but I'm like, this interest rate is just crazy. I'm afraid of the interest on this game. And so we're gonna hold off on that for just a little bit. We're gonna get through one full harvest here, and hopefully we'll make enough money to buy some more fields. I do want to look. Oh, look, our corn prices are super high. So hang on. Let's pause the game for a second. We're gonna come over here. Oops, over here. Can I click on it? No. How do I sell? Windows, sell. Here we go. So we're gonna pop open the sell menu. And you can see our crop was only fair. It wasn't an A, or I think you can even get an S crop, but it's okay. And our prices are at a pretty decent spot right now. So this is gonna sell that entire harvest. And so we're gonna just sell all 4 of those while the price looks pretty decent on the market window here. And you can see it instantly sold. So now we're up to $24,000. And I'm gonna keep an eye on this wheat market, because if the wheat comes back up to this line, I'm gonna sell a future on our wheat. In fact, why don't we do that with the corn? So look, our corn price is currently $4,000 per harvest. And so we've got these 4 fields. So we're gonna sell futures on this corn. So if I click this little button and click on the day today, I'm gonna sell a future on that corn at the current price. And so I don't think it's gonna sell at this $1,000. I think that's gonna sell at the market value price. And so we're gonna gamble our future away here on thinking that I understand how this game works. And hopefully when we get to the harvest time here in a few weeks, and in November here, we're gonna make a whole bunch of money on this high-priced corn. And so now we've set all 4 of these fields up with futures on them. Goodness. Living on a player, welcome to the chat, man. So many great games are older than yourself, Permas. Yeah. I was clearing out the army in '93. There you go, Farmer Tech. Yeah, I was not quite that old, but definitely old enough to have played this game when it came out. So I'm gonna clear out our harvest, or our replants here after the harvest of these fields, because that would be a disaster to plant corn in November, I think. And so we're gonna go ahead and just get all of these fields. We already closed that one out. We are gonna have to come in here and determine what we're planting when. I know we've got soybeans set up in one of these fields. But I want to get the game speed moving again now that we've kind of hit all those core things. And I think we already did this, and our wheat fields are all cleared out. And so we're all good to go there. And so we should start harvesting this corn here in November. If we come in, we have additional windows. If we come to this balance sheet window, SIMFarm does a great job actually of showing you all of your current assets. So if I sold all the stuff on my farm, I would get $518,000, you know, in theory. And I think this plays into how much you're allowed to take out from the bank. I can see how much money I've spent on seed so far in the current year, I believe. I can see how much money I spent on land purchases this year. And so it's really cool that I've got so many, you know, details here. I can see how much money I'm spending on chemicals, you know, miscellaneous fees. I think this includes the $500 I spent on my cousin Jed in the county fair. But then I can compare my crop sales for the year so far. How much money I'm gonna spend in taxes? What? I forgot there was taxes in this game. Oh, that's gonna crush me at the end of the year. And so my current profit and loss is $1,000. That's not gonna cover my $21,000 in taxes though. There you go. There's my private shaders, my 8-bit shaders. My retro. My shaders are as old as I am. Older than I am, I guess I should say. Alright, so we're moving along here. We're in September. We got to get to November, so let me come over here. We're going to bump the game speed back up a bit. I'm excited to see where this goes. Oh, we've got pests here. Let's slow down for a second. Get some pesticides sprayed on our fields. Our little tractor goes out there and does his thing. Doing good. Town fair. Yay, it's the town fair. If you come up here, you can see we've actually got a town fair. But you don't really get to do anything other than knowing that Cousin Jed might come beg for some money again. We got some cool music. I'm gonna be broke, Permas. I am, definitely. Oh, what was that? There was some, like, fancy music, but I don't know if anything actually happened. We're getting more rain, so our poor wheat fields are just getting flooded, even though I've got the irrigation turned off. This music is awesome, though. It's so retro. I love it. I absolutely love everything about it. Oh, goodness. Alright, we're in October. Oh, I forgot. No, I'm on fast. Here we go. We're going. Harvest is going to start here for these cornfields in mid-November here. And then we need some herbicide over here. So that guy's doing his herbicide thing. I'm not thinking this wheat's gonna make it. I don't know. Oh, it's fair. Okay, it's doing its thing. I'm a little worried about the temperature levels here. If we come, this one is wheat, and then we look at temperatures. I don't know. It's above freezing, so hopefully we don't lose the crop. We're in the first week of November, so we should get a second corn harvest here, which is awesome that we're double cropping corn in Iowa, but Stranded Canson, it's good to see you, sir. I know you've got a busy day today. So here we go. So we just harvested all 4 of those cornfields, so we're gonna slow the time down for a second here. And you'll notice we didn't put that into our corn bin. We sold it and we got a bunch of money here. And so if we look at, oh man, look at the price is way up here. I should have been paying more attention. We could have made a lot more money. But that wasn't the window I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the balance sheet. Our crop sales are up here. So we sold a bunch of money on those, or we got a bunch of money on those futures. On the corn. I wish I could remember what our sales were previously here, but we've definitely got enough money to buy this other plot of land and hopefully get another field planted in here. So let's, oh wait, we've got taxes. We don't want to pay a bunch of taxes. So we're gonna sit on this for the full year, like I said we were. We're not gonna get ahead of ourselves because I think this game is a little bit more hardcore than other games. We got some pesticide we need to spray here, so we'll come down here and hit the pesticide. And you can see these 4 cornfields aren't being replanted right now because we cut that out of the schedule. So there's the auto workers aren't going to do anything over here for the time being. And so we're just speeding right along here. We're getting more rain, so our poor wheat is just getting destroyed. We should probably be watching the market a little bit better for wheat. Didn't miss anything. Wheat market is terrible. Yeah, it's funny is like you can do, I've seen people do like a double crop if they're gonna do silage or something in, you know, in the second cut or something like that, or the first cut. But it's uncommon. I think maybe in a little bit further south, you could probably get away with it, where it's a little bit warmer. I think it's just so hard on the soil though. Like things that you used to do back in the day, I don't know that a lot of people would do that here. And I don't know who's the guy that parked a truck on the field here. As we get closer to harvest, I expect the price of wheat to stay pretty abysmal. And so it's always fun to try and keep an eye on things like those prices with the game speeding by so fast. I wonder if there's keyboard commands for controlling the speed. Let me pop into another window for a second here. I'm not seeing keyboard commands. Nope, I don't know. I'm sure there are, but unfortunately finding documentation for a game this old, not so easy. I can't believe we're gonna go all the way to January before we cut this wheat. It's gonna be a little bit silly. Oh, is that snow? Looks like snow to me. Yeah, we've got more snow coming. Hopefully we get these wheat off of the ground here before everything's covered in snow. I'm going to be a little bit sad if we lose the whole crop here at the end. All right, the town is purchasing a new plot of land. The mayor is asking voters to vote. We want an airport so that we can get crop dusters. That'd be fun. And this is our year-end evaluation. And so, yeah, this is a seasons-based game for sure. This is harder core than seasons in Farm Sim for sure. So we're growing, the town's growing. We weren't very productive according to this, but we were good with the environment, so that's good. We've got our 4 harvests of wheat in the bins here, so I'll have to keep an eye on the market. And then we probably need to figure out when we're planting what. So let me go down to slow here. Let's take a quick peek at the market. Wheat market's coming up, but I'm gonna wait a little bit, I think. Just to see if that goes up any higher. In fact, I've got a small sheet over here that tells me what the normal selling price for something is. So wheat is $21.60 apparently. So we're not, the average price is $21.60, I think. I don't know. This page seems to be out of date. So we're gonna hold on to our wheat for a little bit. But what we need to do is here, we've already set up our soybeans. So we're gonna be planting some soybeans in May, it looks like, and running a single crop here. We do need to cut that out. And then we've got this field, which we're not doing anything with yet. I'm gonna plant some soybeans here as well, but we're gonna go a little bit earlier. We're gonna go into April to plant these. And that's gonna take us into September. And so if I cut here, I'm curious if there's a short crop that we could put in here. I've got another window open here, so I apologize. The sound goes kind of crazy when I Alt-Tab, but I'm just trying to look at what other crops we've got that we could maybe dual. So corn is actually one of the shortest growing things in the game at 13 weeks. I don't think we're gonna get a 13-week crop of corn planted in September though. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna grow some single crops here. Farmer Tech, where did I find the game at? This is, so if you just search for SIMFarm online, it's available on a few sites. It's Abandonedware, so it's old. In fact, I think Abandonedware is the name of one of the sites. So you can get it, you can find a copy. There's actually a version you can play in your web browser if you don't want to set up DOSBox and figure out how to actually run it in DOS. Randy Pepler, I've actually thought about that. If this video gets demonetized, I'm not gonna lose too much sleep about it. It is awesome music though. I did try to turn it down a little bit, so hopefully it's not overpowering. Yeah, this is kind of just a fun little game. Like, I've just wanted to get back and play this for years, and Pleasant View Farms and I were actually talking about this on Discord the other day, and it got me thinking that it'd be really fun to just play this again. So here we are doing kind of just a one-off crazy episode today, just for the fun of it. So we're gonna double crop our corn. That seemed to work pretty good. I think I can get 2 in here without a problem. So these bottom 2 fields are gonna be double cropped corn, and then we're gonna go plant some more fields because we wanna see if we can do a little bit more here. Was this the bottom field that I just did? It is, okay. So I've got that, oh no, there's one more field down here. We gotta make sure we're actually planting all of our fields. So we're gonna put corn in right here as well, was where I was at, I think. Nope, we need to go one more day later. All right, we gotta line everything up perfect here, folks, to maximize our growing cycles. There we go. And then we just gotta come down here and make sure we're not gonna plant after the end of October. Good deal. So the bottom 2 fields are gonna be corn on corn. Up here we've got corn and soybeans. Here you've got the weather prediction for the next week, so you know it's gonna rain. You can preemptively shut off your irrigation. Yeah, Godly Devil, I actually have a physical copy on 3.5 or 3.25 inch, whatever they were, floppy disk drive. But getting that to install on a PC, like, I don't have a 3.25 inch disk drive anywhere anymore. Like, that's old school. That's even old school for me. We're gonna go full corn here. We're gonna get lots of corn going this year. We're gonna double down on our corn. So let's just get this going. Cut, don't need to replant in November. Close. Was that the top field that I just did corn in? Yes. Next field, corn, April, scroll it over. I wish there was a way to copy my field settings from one field to another. That would be a cool addition to this, you know, what is this, 30-year-old game? Yes, we're gonna complain about game design from 30 years ago. It's funny though, is like compared to, you know, Farming Simulator, which is more about driving the tractors and such, but I feel like a lot of game mechanics have been dumbed down from, you know, games that existed in the past. You know, I was playing this game, you know, before I was in my teens. Like, it's not, I don't know, I don't find the game mechanics are necessarily simple, but, you know, they're not that complicated, and this is the kind of stuff that I would love to see in a modern farm sim game, is just more thought around, you know, some of these other mechanics in the game. I mean, this has a more robust economic system in it for sure. I need to remember that corn prices come up here. We're gonna hang on to our corn next year, I think, until the better prices, or try to do a better job of selling futures. Let's speed this game back up now that we've got the next year's crops all set up. And you can see we lost all of our money here. So if we come back to the balance sheet, we lost $22,000 for the year because of the taxes. Oh my goodness. We shouldn't have bought that land. It's the extra land adds taxes. So now I don't have enough money to actually buy the other plot of land down here that I wanted to buy. So let's pause the game one more time. Let's see if we can add some animals to this farm. We don't have any room up here by the main farm, but we could put some down here. I don't really want to do it here because I want to expand my fields into this area. Should we take out a loan and buy another area here so we can put some more fields in? That'd be fun. Let's do that. This is a one-off, right? So if we lose all our money, ooh, and interest rates are down from 15% to 9%. So what do we need to buy more land? Probably about $20,000. So if I do 20, 1, 2, 3, loan amount. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna pay $1,000 a quarter in interest. Or yeah, all right. Cool, let's do this. So we're gonna buy land. I'm gonna buy this next property right above me. And then we're gonna get out the plant. I don't wanna plant wheat or plant corn in February though. So we're gonna wait just a moment and plant when it's time, which is the end of March, beginning of April time zone here. So we're gonna wait a couple days and see if we can plant some new fields here. Scott George, welcome to the chat. We're having a retro day. We're playing with some old stuff. Remember in elementary school using computers that had those floppy drives? Yeah, exactly. Try and tailor to more audiences with Farm Sim. I don't think the younger community wants to play super realistic. I'd agree with you there. You know, I think that the younger part of the community definitely appreciates more of the, what do you call it, arcade style farming. So we're second week of March, third, fourth, so I'm waiting for first week of April here. Your 26-year-old self loves the new game. There you go. This is very old school though, for sure. I'm hoping when I put the field here that our irrigation will work if we need it. I don't think we really need irrigation for corn here, but you never know. I'm waiting to slow it down on the first week of April here. I don't want it to fly by on me. Oh, and we haven't been watching the market. How's my wheat market doing? Not there yet. Oh, here's first week of April, so we're gonna slow things down. Our guys are all busy up there doing stuff, but we're gonna put in another cornfield right here. Cannot place field there. Oh, because of the fences. Hang on, options, auto doze. Now we gotta be really careful we don't mess this up. Because I think if I do this, there we go. And can I plant one more up here? Do I have room? I do not. Nope, I don't have, I don't own all that property. Well, we got one more field in here. So we're gonna spray, this is fertilizer, I think. And so you'll notice we haven't had to spray fertilizer again on these fields. And so some of what we've done, the soil quality is still pretty good here. And so we've continued to, you know, have decent soil quality through the ages, I'll say. Now, why are these fields not planting? Oh, because these are going to be my soybeans a little bit later in the year. I do wish that I'd planted them a little bit earlier looking at this map now, because we get to 55 in October and 60. I'd rather take advantage of the 65 and 60 days here. So maybe we, since we're not there yet, we just pull this planting calendar back a smidge here. And we can do the same thing here. Let's go for the 60s. So we're gonna hit this, we're gonna hit that, and we're gonna make sure I did the right thing on both. So this one's earlier, the other one's gonna be a little bit later. Oh, this is corn. Did I do the wrong one? I did the wrong one, I bet. We're gonna do beans on that field. Yeah, that's beans. All right, we're gonna come down here And we're gonna do beans on this field is doing good. All right, we're beans in both fields. Julian Faber Farmer, welcome to the stream, buddy. It's good to see you. Godly, check out the strawberry fields. I remember strawberries were always super efficient. Let me go into farm, or let me make sure the speed is turned back up because we've got everything set to crank here. We're gonna spray our herbicide over here because this field needs some catching up. And then let's go into Windows Farm Expert and look at some of the other crops. So I remember strawberries. We got rice even in here. I don't know how well those would grow. Carrots, strawberries. I remember strawberries were super profitable. They grow fast, if I remember correctly, like 18 weeks. But they don't need much to keep going here. But they require lots of chemical, was what I remembered. You had to spray them and do a lot of work with them. Oh, we've got more pesticides over here that we need to spray. And this field is just wet, even though we don't have any irrigation over there. And so now we've added yet another type of crop here. Looks like water might be a consideration here for this crop as well. So we might get too much water on our soybeans, especially if we let them go that late. I don't think we want to let soybeans go into the winter though. And so we've got to keep watching our crop prices here on the wheat. Wheat's not quite coming up yet. We've got pesticides that need to be sprayed. We've got fungicide that needs to be sprayed. Good times. This is definitely a little bit different paced of a game than Farming Simulator. And so the game also has a number of different crops besides those. I'm trying to find a way to pull up the list, but you've got everything: almonds, apples, barley, carrots, corn, cotton, gladiolus, grapes, lettuce, oats, onions, oranges, peanuts, potatoes, rice, sorghum, soybeans, strawberries, sugar beets, sunflower, sweet potatoes, tobacco, tomatoes, and wheat. That's a lot of crops. But of course, you know, we're gonna grow corn and soybeans because we're in Iowa. Now, most of our equipment fits in the sheds here. I think the next thing that I really want to do when we get the money after this year's harvest is we'll buy a piece of land here and we'll check out how the animals work in this game, because animals are also somewhat interesting from what I remember. Oh, we've got some herbicide that needs to be sprayed on our newly planted soybeans. And so this game is all about the farm management aspects. And so we've got to, you know, kind of come and check that we're not going to waste a bunch of money trying to plant other things. It's our annual town rodeo. We're going to bet on Cousin Jed again. Hopefully he wins this time and we break even. Now I'm going to drop our soybeans off from September. We don't want new things getting planted, but we are going to go for the second crop of our corn. Good deal. I'm really curious if Cousin Jed's gonna win this thing. Let's see what we've done here. Oh, we're harvesting this field actually right now. I'm gonna make sure we don't try and go again there. Oh, we're harvesting those two. So we're already bringing the first harvest of corn in on all these fields. And so we've got a ton of money from that. I need to be watching. Oh, here's a disaster. Winds have increased to dangerous levels. Protect your fields from nutrient loss by placing trees nearby. Cousin Jed, you're losing me money. So we need to slow the speed down here. So we don't have many trees. We've got some trees here, it looks like, that are gonna protect the fields on either side from some wind erosion. So that's kind of cool. That wind erosion is another game mechanic in SimFarm. You know, again, this is coming down to things that Farm Sim doesn't do, that, you know, even a game this old, which admittedly is more about some of those mechanics, has built into it here. So Permas, you're gonna bet against me on that? There you go. Well, we lost. So we got all this corn and this wheat, and we haven't been watching the market here. Wheat price is awesome, so let's go ahead and sell our wheat. So sell wheat. Wheat price is good to go, and we got some high quality crops for some of those. So we just made a lot of money on that wheat, which is amazing. And we're gonna come back in here. Corn price is just dropping through the floor, so we're not gonna sell any futures on corn right now. We're gonna hang on to our corn for a little bit. But yeah, Eric, that's the thing. I would love to see some of these kind of mechanics built into Farming Simulator as well. Like the fact that I can sell futures on grain is actually really cool. I would love to see stuff like that. Wind and, you know, erosion and having to worry about some of the effects of your soil toxicity and stuff is actually a really cool mechanic. I mean, we're putting a lot of fertilizer down right now, but if we bring up the map, I can see that, you know, actually I'm not putting that much chemical on. We don't have that many problems with soil toxicity. I did just put fertilizer down on some of these fields, so some of them are yellow, some of them are green. Green is apparently low nutrients. So even though I just sprayed on this field, we're gonna pop this up. Soil quality is poor, so we're gonna put some more fertilizer down on this field. Apparently these soybeans are really sucking up the fertilizer. We'll put some down on this field as well. And we're gonna put some more on this field. Seems like those same 3 fields I've had to put some on now. So I'm not sure if the game is a little bit buggy or what's going on here. Oh, it might take a day for it to take effect here, so I'm not gonna apply it again when I just put some on. We're gonna let the game move forward a day. The wind speed is back to normal, so it might be that these fields are, whoa, what's going on? Slow down. This symbol is for no water. All right. Oops, let's turn some water on here. Let's turn some water on there. That was rather quick that all of our fields went from doing okay to not doing so hot. Always a little bit scary here. We're gonna spray some pesticides. We're gonna leave that one on. And we're gonna put some more fertilizer down on these 2. I think the wind erosion really hit these fields pretty hard. Just maybe it's based on where they were, but that's the only thing I can think of why we had to put that on a few fields. Now this field is really dry, and I don't think the irrigation is working here from the other side of the road, and so we're gonna try and run some irrigation over here. I like that duck noise. Ooh, I like that bulldozer noise. That was pretty cool. So we're gonna run that irrigation there, kind of connect these lines for us a little bit. And we're gonna let that kind of keep going. Now, I don't like that these soybeans, oh, it's windy again. Crazy. I don't like that these soybeans are getting flooded out, so I'm going to put a blocker right there so that we don't keep sending water to the soybeans while we're watering the corn. And we're gonna get the pesticide back out. That wind is really doing some damage to these soybeans up here. I'm tempted to try and put some trees somewhere here. Maybe if I plant some trees like right here. Doing, doing, doing. That's a crazy noise. Here, we're gonna spray that field. We're gonna spray this field. Yeah, these are the ones that are getting hit by wind. John Deere and Case IH Farmer, good to see you in the stream, man. We'll see you tonight. Karsten Farms, good to see you as always, man. Yeah, Eric, it's interesting. The mechanics are very different in this game than some of the others, for sure. Let's bring up our market window. Our corn price is coming back up here, so we're gonna sell some corn when the price gets just a little bit higher. Knowing that it can come up this high, I'm gonna gamble on seeing if it'll come up a little bit higher. We're gonna keep putting some fertilizer on these poor fields that are getting smashed by the rain. And we're gonna see where this goes. There we go. Wind speeds have dropped back down to normal. We've got some interesting weather conditions. The cornfields are on the line here, it looks like, for having enough water. So I'm only running one of our pumps. The water's on the low end, but it's doing all right, and we're gonna get some more rain as we get closer here. So I'm not gonna turn the other pump on. I don't want them to get overwatered. I think one is doing good enough for now. And we just gotta keep an eye on our market value of corn here as the days continue. I'm thinking one more day here and then we're gonna see another rise in the price. And then I should be watching the soybeans as well. Soybeans are at an abysmal price, so we're not gonna sell any futures on those. And so I like that the market is a much bigger aspect of the game, you know, the financial part of it. We've already made some of our money here. Let's, if we go to the bank here, I can actually repay some of our loan. So if I put, let's say I put $10,000 back in, I think I can repay $10,000 of the loan. Oh, it repaid the whole thing. Interesting. Okay, so it's an all or nothing. That's all right. We had the money for it, luckily. And this is saying we're not getting enough water to our soybeans. So we're gonna open that up. We've got fungicide. Gotta stay on top of all of the different field effects here on our crops. It's definitely something that keeps you going here. This is gonna be our last crop on this field, as this one. And so you can see that our crop quality is pretty high here because we've been staying on top of stuff. We could preemptively spray for pesticides, but we're one day away from harvest, so I don't think the investment is really worth it. I don't think it's gonna drop our crop quality much in one day. And so we're gonna see a bunch of stuff start getting harvested here in another week. Soybeans are still horrible, but look at our corn price there. So we're gonna stop the game. We're gonna actually pause the game so that we don't miss out on these great corn prices. So we're gonna come in here to the sell menu. These are all B quality crops from before, partly because as you store them, the longer you store them, the quality of the crop starts dropping down. And so we're gonna sell all that corn. And then what I wanna do is we're gonna come in here and we're gonna sell futures on the corn with today's price. And so we're gonna sell some futures on this right side of the field and hopefully make a lot of money come harvest. So we've got this Justin Risinger, not what you expected. I did try to put it in the thumbnail. This is definitely a retro classic game. I don't think it's going to be something that a lot of the audience is gonna enjoy for a long time, but I wanted to do something one-off, have a little bit of fun for a change, and just kind of see how it goes. In fact, we're gonna sell futures on all of our corn. That's a really good price, so I think this is gonna be a great decision for us. We'll see how it goes. But once we harvest all of this corn, we should sell it at today's current price, is my understanding of how this works. So there you go. We have sold all of our corn ahead of time. And so we should, it won't even go into the bins. We're just gonna make a lot of money here as we get into harvest. John, FS22 early look stream. Yeah, look at these 3D textures. I mean, we've got awesome, awesome tillage textures now, custom crop textures. No, this is a fun stream. We're doing 2 streams today. We'll be on live this evening as well, doing a little bit of setup on our new Oklahoma Let's Play. We're gonna spray some fungicide on a couple of fields here. Looks like we need some pesticide and some herbicide. So get that pesticide going, and we had a field up here that needs herbicide. We're running low on water, so we're gonna open up the other pump here. So we're gonna get both pumps going just to make sure this corn keeps getting enough water here. And now we've got two harvests of soybeans in the bins here. We're gonna hang on to that. And yeah, our water situation not great. We've got 2 pumps going for all of these fields though. So hopefully that balances out. Yeah, Justin, that's one of the reasons why I'm gonna take a look at a few of the older games here, or just different games that have come out over the years, because there's some realistic things that this game does that I haven't seen in other games, and I really like the market mechanics. I like that there's concepts of soil toxicity, so you can see I just sprayed here, so our soil's a little bit more toxic there. You've got land values, so these fields up here I've made a lot of profit on. These fields I'm not doing so hot on, so things to consider. Yeah, Justin, I'm gonna do a Let's Play series on that map and try to be realistic to the area. We're gonna try and farm local crops, which it looks like it's gonna be wheat or cotton or both maybe. And we need some fertilizer. All of these fields are down on the fertilizer. Now, oh, here I'm putting fertilizer down and then we're harvesting away. But you can see none of these crops went back into the bins. They got hauled straight to the elevator. And so we're making a ton of money too. So we're now up to $62,000. So let's slow the game down. I guess I don't need to pause it because we are in November. But with that $62,000, we can go buy more land. And so I can buy this land next to us. I think I'll be able to get more fields alongside us if I go this way. And we are gonna have to pay some taxes here, so I don't want to go too crazy. But we're gonna be able to put another field here, and not up here yet. We'll have to buy this other land, but I think what I want to do is actually try to consolidate our fields a little bit so that we've got the way that we do roads and stuff, because they're somewhat inefficient here. Yeah, Permas, we've got this one truck driver who parks on the field. Technically, I think we need to get another shed maybe for the trucks to park in. I think there's just not enough room, although this shed has room and they're not parking even one of the trucks there, so. Yeah, Justin, I've been waiting for American Life of Farming as well. We're gonna run a multiplayer series on that. In fact, that was my original plan for today's live stream, was I was hoping that American Life of Farming was coming out today, and I was gonna be doing a setup of my new farm that I'm gonna play on the multiplayer series there. But it didn't get through testing, or I don't know if it failed or just didn't finish testing, but it didn't come out today, so unfortunate. So I think what I want to do here is extend the irrigation here a bit, and we're probably gonna stack it. I think I can be a little bit cheesy, and we're gonna run our road and our irrigation in the same area here. And be able to just put these fields right next to each other. And so one of the things that I want to do is I want to shift this whole thing over a bit. And so we might actually just do that now. Let's get the bulldozer out. We're going to get rid of all these fences. And then I also said we wanted to try animals here before the end of the stream. So we're going to do that as well. I don't know how much money it cost me to plant a field, but this is going to let me put this field right here and shift everything over. I don't know if I'm going to get another field. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide. I'll pick up 2 there. I'll pick up 2 there, and I've got 2 there. So I won't get another field here because of the river. So unfortunately, it's not really saving me any time there. So my goodness. Yeah, Justin, I agree. It's weird for a map to take this long. I know he was running into problems with the with some of the stuff on console, so I don't know what's holding it up though. Yeah, Carpet Farmer Jerry, I've been running the irrigation mostly on this map too, and this is southern Iowa, like it's the very southwest corner of Iowa, I think, remembering where I clicked, but it's definitely a little bit different. Double cropping corn is a little bit different for me as well, so. The other thing we have to remember is that there's no additional planting that got done, so we will have to think about where we're going to replant things here shortly as well. So maybe what we'll do, instead of putting another field in here, let's actually let's buy some animals. Let's figure out how we're going to do some animals. So where's the buy window? We've got the buy window. We've got animals. I don't want to buy the cow just yet. I need to buy the building for the cows. So let's see here. I've got a large barn, a small barn, 9 spaces of seed spray and livestock storage. Apparently I can store seed. So I could be buying that ahead of time, it looks like. Oh yeah, you could buy it and have it on hand rather than we must be paying a premium to buy it on demand. Interesting. So we got large barn, small barn. There's our sheds for storing equipment. All right, well, let's just buy a large barn. We've got the money. If I put this right here, and then we're gonna bulldoze this back out and put that fence back in. We're gonna put a gate right here. Maybe we have to put the gate on a fence. All right, let's do this. Can I put a gate here? There we go. Now we've got a gate. We can put some water troughs down. If I put the water trough here, and maybe we'll just put a couple right there. Put some hay bales down. And then I think we just come back in here and buy cows. Let's buy some cows. This will be fascinating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna buy 5 cows because I don't remember how big this is. I think we can put some, the cows can go in the barn too. So maybe we can do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 spaces. So we can buy 12 cows. Let's buy 12 cows. Buy 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's 12. There we go. We have 12 cows now. We've got water, we've got hay. Maybe we'll put some more hay in a few spots here to make sure they can get it. The question is what do you do with cows? Do they like grow up and get better? Oh, there we go, cow. 485, he's high quality. What did we buy? We bought him at 480. So we'll just have to keep an eye on the cows and see how they do. We're in December here. We need to figure out when, We turned off the map. We need to figure out when the right time to sell our soybeans is going to be. It looks like soybean prices are coming up here pretty quick, so we'll keep an eye on that again. Yeah, I know, the nav mesh, the cows actually go in and out of the barn on them by themselves. Imagine that. It'd be nice if we could do that in Farm Sim. I don't know if we need all this area for the cows, but there it is. Fallen Oak Farm, good to see ya. Let's go through here. If I come into here, I think I can see all my cows and then keep an eye on them better. So they're all A quality cows. So, looking good. Now let's come up here. We're gonna switch this ground out for corn. We're gonna rotate our crops. I don't know if it's gonna have any major difference here, but I think we're gonna do is, if I put the corn in April at 50 degrees, when does it end? It ends in October at 50 degrees. Perfect. So we're gonna plant some corn in these fields. Do a double crop of corn in the 2 soybean fields at the 50 degrees here. And then we're gonna just make sure we cut that back out. There we go. We're gonna make sure we've got corn in all 4 of these fields. Fallen Oak Farms, I know, it's definitely a retro stream. It's been so long since I've played this game. It's a little bit clunky to get back into and remember, but it's also been very nostalgic. I'm definitely having those, having good memories of all the hours spent playing this game over the years. I thought it would be harder than it is to kind of get back into it, but I just sat down and started playing, and I feel like I'm remembering how everything works in the game pretty well. So it's been awesome. I've just got to be super careful, because if I mess up one of these cuts, there's no undo option, so... we should probably diversify, because I know that there's going to be years that corn prices, you know, you have to survive through a whole year with the way the market in this game works, but we're just doubling down on corn right now. It seems to be working for us pretty good. We're going to completely destroy the quality of our land, though, by not rotating crops. Oops. I hate that you can jump forward. You can look at the history of your crops, which is cool, but I accidentally keep clicking forward 4 years into the future, which is not what I want to do. So you can plan out like the next several years of crops in this game, which I think is fascinating. Okay, so we're gonna do some beans again here. So this is where we're gonna go. I think we said we'd start in the 60 degrees for beans and then we end in the 60, something like that. Yeah, just like that. So we're gonna do some beans again in a couple fields, because those actually sold really well. And, oh, I've already got corn set up in this field. This was the one that I did the beans in, I think. Yep. What do we got down here? We got corn already set up here. Good deal. Jax Mods, welcome to the stream. We're having a retro day. We're trying to remember how to play SIMFarm. It's been good times so far. At least I'm enjoying myself. Based on the viewer numbers, not too many people into SIMFarm, which is okay. Sometimes you just gotta do something for yourself, though. Oh, we started this way too early. This is a 60 degree crop, not a 50 degree crop. Get that started there. Justin, the way to lose at this game is the financial stuff. So we started on a pre-built farm. So I had all the equipment from the scenario and a bunch of fields. Starting from scratch, a lot harder because they only give you, I think, $30,000 to get started in a little plot of land. So maybe we should switch and do that. How long have I been streaming? An hour and 20 minutes. So we'll, I want to go a little bit longer here to sell these cows. And so here's my evaluation for this year. My farm didn't grow very much. The town didn't grow very much. I wasn't very productive. And they're suggesting that I grow something other than what I'm currently growing, which is actually really interesting. So let's come in here. I want to sell our cows. So we bought our cows at 480 and now they're already at 500. And so, you know, we can keep growing these cows for a while. The other thing to keep in mind is that the cost of our equipment. So this piece of equipment is now poor quality. And if we look at our balance sheet, you can see, you know, well, we just ticked into the new year, but we'll have expenditures for maintaining the older equipment. So it's definitely different for sure. You can see our assets for our asset level for our machinery is going down as well. And now we're at $181 in the bank. So we just took a $13,000 hit for taxes for the year. And our estimated taxes next year is only $5,000, which I think is interesting. But, you know, we almost went in debt. And I think if you get to $0, you lose. And so I wasn't paying attention. We almost lost the farm right there. I think they actually come in and randomly sell some of your assets for you. Now, soybean prices are really high right now. So we're going to come in here and we're going to sell the 2 crops of soybeans we've got. And now we've got a decent amount of cash in the bank again. But you've always got to be keeping an eye out on that cash in the bank. And so we're going to go ahead and shut some of these off because I don't think we're going to need the extra water on our fallow fields. Daddy M, exactly. These are some retro graphics. This is a game from 1993. So definitely a little bit different style game. And so we're going to go for just a couple more minutes here. And then I am going to switch gears, Justin, and show you what a start from scratch farm looks like because it's got some awesome options. Ah, goodness. So we're just going to speed up. We're not going to go through a whole nother cycle here because I think everybody's got a pretty good feel for how this works now. But we're getting crazy storms and I just want to get through here and sell these cows real quick. I want to see how, you know, in less than a year, you know, we've already made $35 on each cow from our investment. I forget how long you can take cows. In fact, I've got another screen over here. I found a manual. Cows live for 20 years and they have a mating frequency of every 15 to 20 months and a gestation of 10 months. And so while these look like dairy cows, they're actually for breeding. And so we're going to get new cows here after, you know, over the course of a year. And so we should see every 1 to 1.5 years, the cows are going to mate and then we'll get new cows 10 months later. So we've got breeding mechanics here in the game as well. And you can see each cow eats 1/4 of a bale per month. And so you got to kind of keep an eye on your food. You've got to have access to water. And so it's just crazy. Like they've got the details that Seasons has in Farming Simulator, but they did it, you know, 30 years ago. Now Fallen Oak Farms wants to get this. So let me find an unofficial link here. Let me say it this way. I don't necessarily recommend downloading from shady sites all the time. But it is abandonware. And I own a copy of this game, so I don't feel too bad about playing it through an emulator. I'll toss this link in here. Use with your own discretion. But what I like about this page, other than the fact that it's got tons of ads, is they have DOSBox set up so you can actually play it in your browser. So you don't have to download or install anything on your PC if you don't want. If you want to just go check it out for 15 minutes and have a nostalgic moment, you can jump in there and play it, play in an emulated DOSBox window right in your browser. And so I'm gonna toss down some more hay bales here real quick. And then we're gonna go up to ultra speed because I just wanna get into seeing this in, seeing how the cows do. We're gonna let all of our other fields just kind of fall by the wayside here. And I'm gonna bump this up to ultra for a little bit, and you can see everything just goes crazy. We've still got 12 cows. They're still in really good condition. And so if I just wanted to turn around and sell these cows again and make money on buying and selling them, I could. But, you know, really the money in the cows is selling them after they've reproduced. And so given that a cow is gonna live for 20 years, we're gonna be able to continue to grow this farm and, you know, get, you know, cattle is somewhat profitable. It's hard to get into, I think. You know, there's a lot of, not a lot of setup, I guess, but, you know, there is some cost in maintaining these and, you know, some management. But I think if we keep going here until we get into, you know, 1996, we should start seeing some new cows pop in here real quick. So I want to do that real quick before we jump into looking at some of the other new game setup mechanics. Adam Burdick, exactly. This is the old school. We're in the DOS days now. These are the games I played when I was younger. This is, you know, one of my favorite games of all time. I've sunk so many hours into this game over the years. I think this would actually make an interesting mobile game. Something that I've been looking at. Now, I just heard the cow moo noise, so let me see. I've got 12 cows. It doesn't look like we've gotten any new ones yet, but their price to sell keeps going up, which is encouraging. And we're gonna toss a few more hay bales in here for them. I'm thinking if we get into 1996 here, we'll see. Our other crops are just kind of doing their thing here. Who knows if they're going to survive? We're fast forwarding time so fast. I should have picked an animal with a shorter mating gestation period, like sheep or pigs are. I think sheep are 3 months with a gestation period of 6 months, and then pigs are mating frequency of every 8 months with a gestation of 11 months, looking at my other monitor here. So and we're gonna bet on Cousin Jed again. I think it's just a money sink. I never checked out that Farming USA game. I saw a couple screenshots and it looked like it was a little rough, but maybe I'm thinking of a different game. But this would be a fun game to make for mobile. Maybe not exactly like this, but he lost 3 years in a row. Cousin Jed is a loser. Taking all our money. But like on mobile, like I played FS21 on mobile and it was okay, but it drained the battery so fast, but also like first person type games like that on mobile is just a little bit of a struggle for me. You know, the controls are just not there. What I think would work well on mobile is more of a management style game, which this is. And you could definitely do some cooler graphics in this day and age, even on mobile, right? So it'd be fun. Yeah, Justin, it's interesting. I need to check that out at some point. I'd be curious to see how he did, you know, and obviously graphics are the hard part. You know, if you're like me, I have a programming background, so the programming's the easy part. The graphics tend to be the hard part. And so we can see our cows are still just going crazy here from a growth perspective. I'd love to see us get a new cow at some point. I'm curious if there's a concept of calves or if they're just poorer quality. We're gonna run out of spots to put all this grain that we're ignoring right now. We've got a whole bunch of poor quality corn and some soybeans in here. where are we at from stream time? We got a half hour left to check out the new mechanics here. If we just keep this going, hopefully we can get there. Oh, here we go. So here's the other cool thing with SimFarm is we can enter Missy the cow in the judging contest since we have cows. And so depending on what animals you have on the farm, you also get opportunities to do other things during the county fair. John Deere Farms, I'm with you. I would love to see FS22 come out. Farming USA 2 is a lot better than the FS20. In your opinion, the controls are perfect. Nice. I'll have to check it out. But that's what I saw, like when I first saw it, the graphics were just not great. Yay, we won $1,000. Now we can sell Missy and have some steaks. We're gonna put some more water troughs down here because we're running out of water for these cows. Get out of the way. All machinery is currently in use, so it's gonna take extra time to plant all of our fields because we don't have enough tractors, which is an interesting aspect of the game as well, that it's, you know, how much equipment we have does matter. Stubbs the Zombie? I do not remember that game, Permas. I don't know if I ever played that. Alright, it looks like we're not gonna get to seeing these cows gestate. I don't want to sit here and just fast forward for the rest of eternity. I was kind of hoping that they'd have done breeding by now, but I guess my point is made though, is that animals in SimFarm are a longer term investment. I mean, yes, I could sell these cows and make, you know, 40-50% profit here, but you know, at the same time, we're going to you know, really want to keep them for a period of time so that they breed, you get more cows, and so animals are a much longer term investment in SimFarm, I feel like, than in other games. So let's switch it up here. So let's go new game. Do I want to say press cancel, select save? No, I don't want to save. We're gonna go out to the main menu here and show you guys what a start from scratch game looks like. And so let's say that we're gonna start from scratch. We're gonna go a little bit further north here. We're gonna go to southern Minnesota here. Because if we go farther north, the temperature's gonna be a struggle. So we'll go here and we're going to, we could say design our own. I probably shouldn't have clicked that. But what you can do is say, how much rain do you want? What temperature levels do you want? You know, how much wind speed do you want? Do you want a river? Do you want a lake? And then you hit generate, and it's gonna come up with a, you know, procedurally randomly generated map for you. You know, so if I don't want a river or a lake, boom, I can create my own terrain and get my own custom map. And you can see this is where the homestead is, the H, and then you've got a T for the town. And so in this case would be far away from the town. That might be good or bad. You don't really need to worry about distance to town. The only thing you worry about with the town is the fact that it's gonna keep expanding over time. And you probably need a road to town to do certain things, I think. I can't recall. And so we're gonna just hit this one more time and we'll just go with this. And so what you can see here is that we've now got a custom setup here. We've got some land. I don't know why we own this random piece of land out here. Oh, we don't. Okay. And so I'm going to close this window. Actually, I don't want to buy any property. But you can see you get this custom little chunk of land here. And then we've got the town up at the top of the map here. And our speed is on super fast. So we're going to slow this down. We're going to turn off auto lease so we don't accidentally lease a bunch of equipment. But you can see we only start with $40,000 in nothing. And so if we want to plant down here, we've got to bulldoze these rocks and stuff out of the way. Now, I do tend to play with auto doze on because why not? But if we wanted to get right into, you know, let's say, you know, planting corn here, it's early April, so maybe a little bit early. But we would need to come in here and actually put these fields down right away. And you can see we're not gonna have enough room for 3 fields. You know, it's just too narrow. And you're gonna wanna be able to run irrigation down between them and such. And so, you know, we can put a couple down, but we'd need to expand. And so you gotta think a little bit more than the custom farm. And, you know, we're already down $1,000, but I haven't even bought any equipment yet. So we gotta come in here. And in order to buy equipment, we need somewhere to put it. So we're gonna come in here and buy a large shed to put some equipment in. And so we're gonna put a couple of large sheds in here. And then we need to buy all of our equipment. So we need, you know, a tractor. Boom. We'll probably need 2 tractors to do all the different work we've got. You know, maybe I wouldn't have splurged on that. They're only $400 though, so we're gonna need a truck to haul our stuff along here. We're gonna need a trailer because your harvesters don't work without trailers. I don't know where my tractors went. What happened to my 2 tractors? I own them, they're somewhere. They must have taken off. But my point being is there's just a lot of stuff you gotta do with your clunky interface. We're gonna need a sprayer. Oh, there's my tractors. There's gotta be an easier way to keep bringing up this menu. We're gonna need a planter. We're gonna need a plow. And so by the time we're done buying all this basic equipment, you know, and this is just a single setup, we won't even be able to harvest our fields at the same time. You know, we've already spent a good chunk of our money down. And so, you know, it's interesting just playing the game on a little bit different way. And so we need some roads to get around because I don't think our tractors can even get to these fields yet. And I forget what the roads do, but I think it keeps your equipment from wearing out as fast. And so at some point you want to, you know, expand to blacktop roads and, you know, your equipment goes faster and doesn't take as much damage, which as your farm expands becomes more and more important. But you can also buy things like seed and fertilizer ahead of time, and I think it's cheaper if you actually buy it. And so then we can come in here and spray our 2 fields with fertilizer. And because I'm not leasing land, and so my guys got no way to get back into the farm, so we'll put a gate in here. And so you've got a lot of different things that you have to think about here. And so I'd be curious to know what that costs. That costs 200 to spray just now. Oops, I can hold this down. Machinery are too far away. And so the mechanics are just, you know, interesting for building your own farms and such. Here we could put in some soybeans. You know, and we'd separate them out a little bit here so that we can put some irrigation in between them if needed. And with our tractors being able to do things, so now because we had 2 tractors, I'm plowing a field while I'm planting a field. And so you've got, you know, the same kind of mechanics from an equipment perspective in a lot of ways. But there's just a little bit more thought that goes into the timing and the seasonal aspects, as well as the dollar aspects. So, you know, I definitely wouldn't want to be taking out an interest rate, you know, in the double digits. That's going to cost a lot of money. But if I get to the end of the year here and I'm worried about taxes, you know, right now our estimated taxes are, you know, $1,500, so not too bad because we don't own that much land or equipment. The interesting thing is that as all of your assets go up, land, equipment, etc., your tax rates go up as well. So it's just a very different experience. Yeah, Texas farming, you know, I wish that Farming Simulator had a little bit more realistic economic inputs. Like they have a balance sheet screen, but you don't get all of this level of detail. Precision Farming actually added some of this, but the way that they do it is just so backwards because they calculate your crop profits based on the current price of the crop when you harvest the field. But if you play with seasons, and again, seasons is a mod, so they can't take it into account, but you don't sell your price necessarily or you don't sell your crop at the price that it is when you harvest it. So, the precision farming screen is almost useless because it doesn't take into account the money you made from that crop at the point that you sold it. What I would like to see precision farming's balance sheet screen change to is looking at the price that you got, the average price that you sold your crops to since the last time you hit the reset button. So if I hung on to all my soybeans and haven't sold them, it's just going to use, the current price. But as soon as I sell my soybeans, I want it to use that average, price per bushel or price per liter if you're, in the farm sim world, and hold on to that value until the next time I hit the reset button. So there's a lot of cool things that Farming Simulator could be doing with what they've got going on already. But the fact that there's taxes in here is awesome. The fact that loan payments are, quarterly is cool. And so I'm really encouraged by the fact that FS22 is moving towards having seasons built into the game, because I hope that they move away from daily loan payments and into more of a seasonal type thing. So, that's kind of where my head's at. Yeah, Old Man Jeb, I was talking to a few of the members on the Discord server about this game recently, and it got me thinking, like, man, I haven't played this in forever. And it's crazy to me that a game that came out, almost 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, 28 years ago, had so many advanced mechanics in it. And that this is what kids played. Like, I was a kid, I was in my, teens when I was playing this game. And, in today's world, I don't know, I've got a 16-year-old son. He doesn't want to play games like this where, you've got more of the management and the thinking style, right? He's jumping into simpler, easier to consume games. And so, I don't know. I understand why why Giants is focusing on trying to make sure that Farming Simulator stays accessible to a wider audience. It is a PEGI 3 game, and so some of these kind of mechanics would be hard for a 3-year-old, right? Although a lot of things that already exist in Farm Sim are probably too hard for a 3-year-old, but I would like to see some more advanced mechanics that really make you think about how you're running your farm and the impact of your decisions. I would love to see futures in Farm Sim 22. The fact that I can't, sell my grain when the price is high with a future like you can in, real life and play the market is kind of disappointing. So I would love to see that. So yeah, Adam, I definitely pre-ordered the game myself. In fact, if anybody's looking to pre-order Farm Sim 22, I have a pre-order link in the description that is an affiliate link, so it'll help me out a little bit on the channel. I think all the money that I get from pre-orders will go towards giveaways when Farm Sim 22 comes out. So we're going to reinvest that money back into the channel, I think, when it comes out. I have yet to, it's funny, I've been a Giants partner for over a year now, I think, and have yet to actually make any money off of the affiliate links. So hopefully with FS22 coming out, we'll make a few bucks and we can give a few copies away. Soybean prices are abysmal right now, though. We missed the high prices on corn, and so I love seeing this, 30-week history on things. You don't see the whole year here, but Old Man Jeb, unfortunately, no. There's no way to do an affiliate link for the Steam copy, which is what I pre-ordered. So I didn't even use my own link. I pre-ordered on Steam. So if Steam's your thing, definitely get it on the platform that you're going to play the game on. I'm a Steam user myself, so that's where I got it. I'll end up getting a second copy for some multiplayer stuff, that I'll get just a copy from Giants, the digital download for. Oh, goodness. So here's our small corn and soybean farm here. I don't know how well this is gonna do because we planted a little bit early. I guess I've got the speed on this thing way too slow. And so I'd like to see what 1 year on a from scratch farm looks like, knowing that we started at $40,000. Our corn prices, I didn't catch the futures, I was talking. So we missed the good corn prices. We're missing the good soybean prices. And so that's the thing is with the way that this works is because I missed selling the futures, I gotta wait till the price is good again. You know, I gotta be able to pay taxes and all these other expenses. Where in Farming Simulator, it didn't, you know, like, you don't have to wait that long, and you're not really at a risk of your farm going under if you don't sell your crops right away, because the prices for the next year are, you know, fairly negligible. You know, the cost of seed and stuff is pretty negligible in Farm Sim, and so as long as you've got a couple grand, you're gonna be able to keep going. Where here, like, I could take out a loan, but it's 11% interest. Like, it's gonna cost me. So everything just feels like it's a little bit tougher. And I keep losing a little bit of money to spray and vehicle upkeep and stuff like that, so. Stranded, yeah, it's interesting. We're jumping into what new game mode here looks like, probably at about the hour and 30-minute mark into this stream. Before that, we were just playing on one of the pre-built maps that comes with the game. So you'll be able to kind of see both if you want to remember to jump in at the hour 30 mark to see what setting up a brand new farm from scratch looks like. And so this crop is actually doing pretty good. We've got B quality corn here. Not the best, but pretty good. And our soybeans have still got 2 months left to go, but we're a C quality crop here. So, you know, I think these are both going to do pretty good. I should probably cut out the replant in the middle of the winter, though. And this is one of those games kind of like Farm Sim, but like, you know, you've got to think about what you're doing next. I don't think the November corn's going to do very good, but we're going to try it. And we're going to come in here and cut this part out as well. And we'll let it go one more time here. I'm curious to see what happens as we get to the end of the year here. We definitely could use one more set of some of our implements, but you know, you can see we finished planting one field, got onto the next. We would need, you know, if I added 2 more fields, we'd need to get more implements so that both tractors could be doing the same jobs at the same time. Oh my goodness, we didn't have silos, so he just went and sold the corn at whatever the current price was. Oh, that's interesting. Or at least I hope that's what he did. We're gonna get a large silo because that'll hold 4 crops worth. We'll get 2 of these. If we go to our balance sheet here, you can see our crop sales, $4,000. So we sold that crop at whatever the horrible current prices were. So corn price at pretty much the lowest it's at because we didn't have a silo to store it in. Crazy. In a game like Farm Sim, futures would be interesting, but unless disasters happen, then you risk... Yeah. So, well, that's the cool thing, right? And so I'm not gonna... Well, I could trigger a disaster, I suppose. But this game has a number of different disasters. So you've got tornado, locusts, drought, flood, frost, and windstorms that could all hit your farm. And so when we were playing earlier, I think maybe before you joined the stream, we got hit with some pretty bad wind. And you can mitigate the wind by planting trees along the edge of your field. And so that, you know, eliminates or reduces the amount of wind erosion. And so we had 3 fields that had good trees around them. And then we had 3 fields that were not protected by the trees. And those fields, the wind erosion took all of the nutrients out of the soil. And so I had to apply fertilizer like 3 times that year just to replace the missing nutrients in the soil. So here you can see, you know, these bottom 2 fields, we've sucked out a lot of the nutrients in the soil now. And so, you know, if we got a windstorm right now, you know, I'm thinking with all these trees up by the top field, we'd be pretty good. These fields would probably lose a lot of nutrients with a windstorm. And so things like that that you have to kind of think about that, you know, just don't exist in Farm Sim. So, and now we've got somewhere to store these beans. So rather than selling our beans at 1,900, we'll be able to hang on to these until they're, you know, probably $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 per harvest. So definitely some interesting mechanics here, you know, gives me things to think about as we look at, you know, where games like Farm Sim 22 are going, you know, wishing I'd see, you know, just some of these mechanics coming into the new game. So I'm really excited to see seasons come to the base game in Farm Sim 22, and I'll be curious to see if having seasons baked into the game is going to allow not just giants to do more with it, but that's going to allow modders to do more with it, because you've got base game mechanics that you're working off of. I'm also encouraged that seasons in Farm Sim 22 are month-based, and so you actually have the concept of an actual month based on all of the discussions that you've seen from the actual giants guys. So we're going to put some fertilizer on these 2 fields. We gotta watch our prices. Soybean prices still not coming back up. And so if we look at our balance sheet here, you can see our estimated taxes, you know, are gonna come in at about 2,000. Our revenue this year has been 4,000 because we sold that stuff without thinking about it, and our expenses were 11,000. So we're gonna take a pretty hard hit on the balance sheet this year, but hopefully because we're storing some of the crops, we're gonna see that turn around for us. But the problem is that the longer we keep this grain in the bins, like this corn didn't grow at all. So I got 2 crops of bad corn because I, you know, wasn't paying attention to the growth cycles, and it got too cold. So I spent all that money, and neither of these corn turned out. And the longer I keep these beans in the bin, their quality is going to go from high to fair. And so if we watch this, you know, by the time you'd actually sell the beans here in a few weeks, they're not going to be worth anything, which is kind of fascinating to me. And so I'm going to turn this up to ultra here, and we're just going to watch. We're going to wait for this price to come back up. So permas, you've got to imagine that they're going to have some concept of a geo built in if they're going to have seasons, so that a mapper can say where their map is located in. You know, because January is January, right? It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. The month doesn't change. It's just the growing climate changes. And so here's our end of year report card. You can see we did pretty poorly. Farm growth is a little bit, but productivity was pretty low. So we didn't do very good. And our soybean prices haven't come up yet. And you can see here, they're still hanging in there from a quality perspective, but that quality will go down over time. And we can see here, oh, this is me. I didn't tell it to replant because I'm just trying to get this. I just want to get to the point where we would sell those beans and see what the quality is. We're on the fastest speed here. Ultra is not as ultra as you feel. It's funny, as each of these is actually a day of the week, and so you've got a concept of days in SIMFarm. It's not just the weeks. You do see the week up here, but each of these weather cycles is an individual day. And in fact, if we slow the speed down for just a second here, we have an actual weather window. And so you can get into the 5-day forecast, how much evaporation you're gonna have, where our wind is, you know, how much rain we've had versus the average, you know, how many weeks until spring, you know, we're in winter still, what the temperature gauges are. And so it's just really cool. There's a lot of level of detail here that you don't have to think about, but you know, you can get into if you want. You can pull up that evaluation screen at any point. Goodness. And then if we look here, our soybean prices finally came up. And so I wonder if we go to sell this, if we've lost quality yet. We haven't. And so I would probably sell these off at this point. You know, which brings our balance sheet up because we've had taxes as an expense so far. We haven't been doing anything yet this year, so we don't have any of the other expenses, but, you know, we've actually made revenue now because we've gotten, you know, $20,000 worth of selling some crops and stuff, but it's an interesting game. I'm, you know, glad we kind of took a look back. Gives me some ideas of things to talk about as we're looking at Farm Sim 22 and things that I, you know, love to see in the game or in future games. Brings a different question of I can't even say it, customizability. For instance, if you planted corn in February in Texas, where people planting up north don't start until April. And yeah, like we have that capability today with Seasons Geos, but the way Seasons Geos works is a little bit odd. I mean, I guess most people just don't play with a long enough season. Because fast forwarding time in seasons on most maps is just painful because you have to wait for a couple of minutes on any normal 4X map, even on my high-end machine, or you risk not having everything update. All the field states don't get updated and things just get messed up. So I'm hoping all of that gets made better so that we can have that level of customization on different maps based on where you're at in the world. I would love to see different geos in 22. So, good times. Well, we've been streaming for about 2 hours here, and so I think this is probably a good spot to wrap up our retro stream today. Appreciate everybody who came out to watch me play a nearly 30-year-old game. It was fun to jump in the time machine and check some things out. If you've enjoyed the stream, drop a like. Helps the channel out a lot. And we'll be streaming again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be jumping onto the new Oklahoma map by DR Modding. I'm looking forward to setting up my farm there and getting started on a new map with a new series. And so the live stream will be setting up that farm, trying to decide exactly where we're going to play on the map, what we're going to do. So if you want to bend my ear and try to influence the machinery we're buying and what we're doing during setup, that'll be the time to do it. Looking forward to that live stream tonight. So that's all for today. Kedrick out.